According to a Bankrate survey, 27% of US adults, or about 70 million people, do not have any emergency savings. And that number could be even higher right now. Now, recently, my wife and I welcomed our second child, Timmy.
I'd like to show the world the permanent alfalfa, which literally never ever goes away.
All right, now he's a cutie, right?
Yes, he is.
But that little cutie right there has cost us so far $6,500, and I know that there's more bills to come.
You sure you want kids?
Now, thankfully, we were prepared, and that pregnancy had absolutely no complications. But if that pregnancy would have had complications, our health insurance, which is actually pretty decent, has an out-of-pocket maximum of $17,800. And if we would have had to pay that, that would have been pretty brutal. Things like this are what make an emergency fund so important. So today, I wanted to help the 70 million people that do not have an emergency fund, and I needed some advice, so I talked to my AI assistant, Tiara. Good morning, Tiara. I'm looking to get an emergency fund set up just in case something bad happens, but I'm pretty broke right now. Can you help guide me on a strategy to set one up?
Of course, I'd love to help. First things first, take a good look at your current financial situation. How much can you realistically set aside each week or month? Even if it's just $5 or $10, that's a great start. Let's break it down with an example. Say you're able to save $5 a day. That's about the cost of a fancy coffee, right? If you do that for a month, you'll have $150 saved. In 6 months, that's $900. Suddenly, that $1,000 emergency fund doesn't seem so far out of reach, does it?
I think the approach of $5 per day is a good one. Or heck, even $1 a day if that's all that you can afford. Here's the thing to realize about emergency funds. They are for emergencies. Meaning, hopefully you don't even have to use this. And while you definitely do want to build this up, you need to look at it for what it is. It's more of an insurance policy than anything else. So yes, take some time, build it up, but don't sacrifice everything and be completely miserable while you do it. That said, Tiara had one other good point as well.
Here's a pro tip. Make your goals SMART. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Remember, any progress is good progress. Don't beat yourself up if you can't save as much as you'd like right away.
Now, you may not know this about me, but I have been an adjunct marketing professor for about 10 years. And in every single one of my marketing courses, we talk about SMART goals. So for instance, if you want to build a $1,000 emergency fund in 1 year, you're going to have to save $2.73 per day or $19.11 per week to make that happen. And SMART goals, really, they're just that simple. It's not any magic, right? It's just math. And this probably sounds pretty good right now, right? And it's pretty simple. But I know some of you are watching this, you're looking at me right now, I see you, and you're probably thinking, that's great, but you're a f***ing idiot because I don't have that money. What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
I understand. So let's see the 5 things that Tiara advises for you folks.
All right, now that we've set our goals, let's talk about how to actually make this happen. 1. Cut the fat. Take a hard look at your expenses. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use? Maybe it's time to say goodbye to that gym membership you haven't used in months. Or how about swapping your daily Starbucks run for homemade coffee? Small changes can make a big difference.
Now, when it comes to building up an emergency fund, I think the first step should always be to look at the dumb things that you spend your money on. And there's nothing wrong with it. We've all spent money on dumb things. But at the end of the day, a lot of times when you look at your actual purchasing habits, what you'll discover is, hey, maybe I don't need this subscription, or maybe we can sacrifice this one thing. And by doing that, you can save, $5 a day, depending on what it is that you're cutting, if you're able to cut enough. And then all of a sudden you're able to build up an emergency fund in, 6 months. And as AI said, really look at your subscriptions, because everything seems to be a subscription nowadays. And it's really, really easy if you're not paying attention to spend money on things that you barely even use.
2. Use the 24-hour rule. Before making any non-essential purchase, wait 24 hours. You'd be surprised how often you realize you don't actually need that item after sleeping on it.
Now, I really like this bit of advice. So my wife, I love her very much, but she used to be kind of an impulse buyer, to be honest. And now she's gotten a lot better at that. And the reason she's gotten a lot better is because she will actually, usually, Amazon, she'll be buying something, she'll put it in the cart, but she'll wait a couple days before she buys it. And most of the time she doesn't even buy it. So even if you wait yourself and you put it in the cart and do that strategy and wait just 24 hours, a lot of the times you'll think about it and you'll find that no, I don't really need it, and you won't buy it at all.
3. Automate your savings. This is a game changer. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund savings account every payday. Even if it's just $5 or $10, it adds up. It's like paying yourself first, and you won't even miss the money because you never see it.
For me, this specific tactic has led to an account that has almost $38,000 in it. And what's more is that particular account has a very respectable 14% return on the investment so far this year. And don't worry, I know that screenshot shows that I have 77% invested in stocks. I don't. It's stock ETFs. It's all kind of bundled in one area. Now, the platform I use for this is called Acorns. And I have to be clear, they did not sponsor this video. And I wish they would have, because I really do genuinely like this app. And as you saw, I use it myself. So if you buy a morning coffee for $5.13, what Acorns is going to do is it is going to round that up to the nearest dollar, which is $6. And then it's going to take the 87 cents, right, that it was rounded up. It's going to move it over into the Acorns account. It's going to deposit it, and then it is going to invest that 87 cents into the market. And it's just so automated. That's why I love it. It's like the most mindless activity. It's great. Now, if you want to, you can also make repeatable daily, weekly, or monthly contributions to the account as well. And at the end of the day, the most important thing here, this is for an emergency fund. And the good thing is, if you ever need this money from Acorns, you can just withdraw it really, really quick, get into your account, and you're good. And it only costs $3 per month. Now, if you think this app would be good for you, and like I said, I use it myself, if you can please click in the description, I have an affiliate link there. If you click on that and sign up, or you use the link right up here, what will end up happening is after you deposit money into your account, you'll actually get $5 free, which is pretty cool.
Free money?
And you'll also be supporting my channel, which I obviously appreciate. Anyways, let's go back to see what else Tiara has to say.
Fourth, side hustle it up. If you've got a skill, why not monetize it? Maybe you're great at graphic design, or you could walk dogs on the weekends. The gig economy is booming, and there are tons of ways to make a little extra cash.
There are hundreds of side hustles available, right? You can start a blog, you can start a YouTube channel, you can wash windows on the weekends, you can start a cleaning service, you can drive for Uber. You get the point. There's just hundreds of them available nowadays. And to be honest, this is a whole video unto itself, right? I could go on and on. I know a lot of people that are making a killing doing a lot of the things I just mentioned and some things I didn't even mention. So if you are interested in another video about, more side hustles and things like that, go ahead and comment below and let me know, and I'll get something going there.
5. Sell stuff you don't need. We all have things lying around that we don't use. Why not turn that clutter into cash for your emergency fund?
It's a fair point. I think all of us have some crap laying around the house that, frankly, other people don't think is crap. And if you list it on Facebook or eBay or an app like OfferUp, someone will probably buy it from you. And now that we have an idea of where to acquire those funds, which is the important part, you're probably wondering, where is it that I actually put these funds?
Your best bet is usually a high-yield savings account. Think of it as a supercharged version of a regular savings account. Here's why it's a good choice. It's separate from your checking account, so you're not tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. It's easily accessible. If your car breaks down, you can transfer the money to your checking account pretty quickly. It earns more interest than a regular savings account. Now, you might be thinking, why not invest it and make even more money? Well, remember, this is your emergency fund. The stock market can be like a roller coaster, and you don't want your emergency money taking a nosedive right when you need it.
Now, I think that Tiara has a good point here, and I even have some of my own emergency fund in a high yield savings account as well. That said, before I had a full emergency fund that I built up over time, I just used the app Acorns. And as you saw, that account has grown quite a bit. And frankly, my emergency fund, it's really now it's split between my high yield savings account and also Acorns. And the reason why I still leave a lot of my emergency fund in Acorns is pretty simple. So Tiara mentioned how, the stock market can be like a roller coaster. Well, with Acorns, they actually let you choose your investment strategy. So you can be really aggressive or really conservative. And generally, I'm conservative on that particular account, and that makes it so it's a lot less volatile. And your investment strategy, now this really comes down to your risk tolerance, which I have to tell you, I recently made a video on. And I know that probably doesn't sound very exciting, but the reality is, if you want to build your emergency fund safely and carefully in the right way, I highly recommend that you watch this video right here. It'll help you do that. Or if you just want to watch my most recent video, you can watch this one right here. Now, if you like this video, please click on the like button so that YouTube's algorithm gives me a little love. And also make sure that you subscribe to the channel to unlock financial success one AI chat at a time. See you in the next one.